Hola clase, this is your second video on how the preterite is irregular as opposed to simply adding the endings. In this case, you must do extra steps. You're going to look at 5 verbs today, 6 verbs, and see that they're unlike the AR verbs that you've watched previous. There'll be more irregulars down the road, so just try to take these a few verbs at a time. These are the 3 verbs that we call I verbs. These verbs don't have I's in the stem, meaning before the ER or the IR, but once you go to put it in the preterite, you're going to have an I in them. That's what makes them together as a group I verbs. Pay attention to the endings. They're different than the endings we've already used. And one thing I didn't highlight, but I'm going to point out to you right now as I'm speaking, is in the LA usted form. It's not a C before the O ending, it's a Z. And that only occurs in the LA usted form. Notice these don't have any accents, and notice that the meaning tends to change when you're not speaking in the present tense, but rather in the past tense. Please copy these verbs down onto the video guide so that you have them as a reference. This is just simply what you can copy unless you prefer to write them all out. You see the 3 stems, you see the I's in each, and you see that they have the same endings. These 2 verbs, ir and ser, are a little odd, the fact that they have the same conjugation. They're not similar in meaning, but yet the forms are the same, and they are most commonly used with the verb ir, to say a person went to a particular place. Here you have 5 examples. These 5 examples use either ser or ir, and it's already conjugated for you. What I would like you to do on your paper is try to write down and see if you think each example is a use of ir, to say a person went somewhere, or ser, to use the concept of was in the past. And the last 2 verbs to discuss are the 2 verbs ver and dar. They're 3-letter verbs. They're very similar. You can just take out the D and swap it for the V. They don't mean the same thing. I've given you the meanings. They're just simply 2 verbs that are each 3 letters, and they do not take AR endings, but you're going to see down the road that these are actually the endings for ER and IR verbs, but we'll get to that later. I know this was a lot to write down. We'll do practice in class, but what you want to do is make sure you understand why they're irregular, how you can remember how they work, and know that now everything you've been able to say in the present, you've now been able to double it by being able to say it in the past. Good luck, take good notes, because it's important to have as a reference.